All right, we're here. I think those the $100, $130 is kind of gross. Wait, whatever. Just tell me who the narrator is. Keanu Reeves. Chris Pratt. That's the joke. Make it Chris Pratt.
Throughout our history,
no fucking way.
Have done
okay.
Extraordinary things.
Damn. Actually, that works. I think she works.
Potential.
I could hear this voice totally working for the game.
They inspired movements. Created the impossible.
I wonder how they make sets like these. Or like they,
the indestructible.
Something like this. Like where she's walking around and everything. Like if they fully constructed that for this, or...
To build. To
okay.
Hope. To always hope.
Wasn't who I thought, but it works.
There's hope for us all. Now
this works, I think.
To reimagine civilization.
I think that works really well.
Build something you believe in.
Welcome to the official gameplay showcase. I forget the actress's name, but I think she works pretty well.
Hello, Civ fans. On behalf of all of us here at Firaxis Games, we'd like to welcome you to a first look at the next chapter in our Civilization franchise, Civilization 7. You know, looking back 30 years ago, Civilization was created during a time when we were still learning what games could really be. We were searching for that next big challenge to take on, which led us to thinking, what could be greater than putting
it's Sid Meiers Civilization himself
into a video game and make it fun. 3 decades later, it's because of your passion, your love for Civ, that we're still here today. In every game of Civ, you've gone on a journey to build an empire to stand the test of time. And now the journey continues. Prepare to take just one more turn on February 11th, 2025, when we launch Civilization
or February 6th
7
if you're willing to pay
PC,
$130.
consoles, all on day one for the first time in franchise history.
Consoles and
this is
PC
by
together?
far the biggest, the most ambitious game we've ever made at Firaxis. It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise.
It just started, but we've learned who the
ago.
narrator is. I forget her name, but
Today,
she's like
you'll
Brienne
learn
of
about the
Tarth
vision
in
for
Game
the
of Thrones.
The driving force that inspired our biggest new feature. You'll see your Civ world brought to life like never before, and you'll discover why Civilization 7 promises to be a revolutionary new chapter in this franchise.
Otherwise, this is
that we
literally
all
the
love
start.
so dearly.
That's Mr. Civilization
Please
himself.
Enjoy.
Mr. Sid Meiers Civilization 7 himself.
Civilization is the foundation of Firaxis. Whether you've been playing since the MS
We did look at
days
the
or have joined us more recently,
the package containers
we're
on
so
Steam though, and it's
grateful
kind of
for your
gross.
continued passion and support. When you walk around our studio, you can feel the energy and excitement. You can see how inspired our people are to come in and build the next Civ game.
Civilization is the ultimate historical strategy game.
Do you think this is what their office actually looks like? Or they just like rented out a library for a little bit?
Select a civilization led by a famous historical leader and guide your Civ's journey across the entire span of human history. You shape your empire piece by piece, from what technologies you want to research to what civics you want your society to uphold. And you compete with others on the world stage, engaging in diplomacy, negotiating alliances, and sometimes going to war.
In every Civilization game, your empire has always been represented by a single civilization. You play through the entire span of history as that one civilization. This time around, we want to take you on a new journey.
For the first time ever, in Civilization 7, the story of your empire isn't just that of a single Civ, but several, connected together through time. At the dawn of each new age
Did
of
the
human
leaders
advancement,
change?
you'll select a new civ to represent your empire. You'll build on and carry forward your previous achievements while unlocking new gameplay bonuses to reinforce or pivot your strategy. And by
Interesting.
the end, you'll have forged a unique path through history. To show you what we mean, let's take you through the story of one such empire.
Yeah, that's interesting. That adds a ton of different things you could do. So that's cool.
It is the dawn of a new age. The age of antiquity, where humanity begins to take its first steps into the annals of history. The great pharaoh, Hatshepsut, leads the civilization of ancient Egypt. Among the arid desert lands and a winding river, the seeds of our people are rooted in sand and water. To discover what treasures and dangers lie beyond, a brave scout begins to survey and map the surrounding lands. As our population grows, a new granary
Civ 6
is built to store food for
Alright, so
hungry
that's
mouths.
back.
Its location decided, a new district is formed, and construction begins. With more food available, our people look to make improvements to the land. An ancient fruit ripe for cultivating is spotted. Dates will provide more sustenance for our citizens, and their sweetness will make the people happy. A plantation is constructed to harvest this valuable resource. Over time, our city continues to grow as more urban and rural developments spring forth. We pursue advancements in technology
Currency,
to
masonry,
serve the needs
irrigation,
of our
writing
people.
2.
Breakthroughs in irrigation further enhance our food production, while sailing unlocks our ability to traverse the nearby waters.
They might replace workers. They haven't shown any workers, which I feel like they would have.
Our scout travels along a navigable river. Their tenacity is rewarded with the discovery of a breathtaking series of waterfalls. This natural wonder of the world attracts the imagination of our people, and brave settlers begin the long trek to claim new land for the Egyptian Empire.
Hope you like those animations, because they're getting turned off immediately.
A new town is established near the majestic falls. A town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather nearby resources. Perhaps in the future, this town will grow large enough to specialize and gain its own identity as a city.
In the initial trailer, they showed like a little bit of
expansion
military
does not go
warfare, but it was all land
unnoticed.
stuff.
A foreign scout is spotted, revealing the existence of a nearby independent power. Initial hostilities are tempered over time as friendly relations begin to form. And
You sort of
peace
see the
does
UI,
not dampen our ambitions.
different elements you had in the very top
Our
left.
people strive forth to create great wonders the world has never seen before. As we continue to expand and explore the continent, we encounter new civilizations. They are eager to engage in a bartering of
Improve
ideas
trade
and
relations,
goods,
denounce military information,
routes are established,
reconciliation,
providing
open borders,
neutral
denounce
access
military
to each empire's
presence.
resources.
and that just looks like one tab.
But our rapid growth does not go unnoticed. Our neighbors' ambitions rival our own, setting us on a collision course. War is no longer avoidable. A great army is raised, led by formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land. Spears and arrows make way for iron swords and armor. The battles are fierce. we emerge victorious.
An fabulam recte egi.
But the challenges of this age have shaken our mighty Egyptian empire to its core. The world changes. We feel the pages of history turn as the age of antiquity comes to a close. A new age of human advancement approaches. The age of exploration. A new age brings forth new challenges,
new
and
legacies.
new opportunities. New
These look like
technologies to research. New resources to acquire.
like the religious stuff in 5.
New lands to explore. If we are to take on the challenges of this new age, we must adapt and select a new civilization to represent our empire. One that is better equipped to take on the challenges of the exploration age.
Okay.
This new civilization builds on top of its past legacy, and our actions in this age will inevitably influence a future yet to come. As we evolve, so too do our neighbors. The stage is set. A new age begins. Will you follow a path set by history? Or will you pivot and forge something anew? What kind of empire will you make? What strategies will you pursue?
Befriend independent incite raid.
The future
Interesting.
is yours to create. In Sid Meiers Civilization 7.
Okay.
The journey of Hatshepsut, brought to life by our wonderful new narrator Gwendolyn Christie, is just one potential path you can take in Civilization 7. This is made possible by our biggest new feature, Ages. Ages are inspired by a transformational idea for Civ, that history is built in layers. This idea is a way of understanding how civilizations have grown, changed, and evolved over time.
Think of the first civilizations of the world as creating an initial foundation. As a civilization grows, new layers are added to that foundation in the form of things like technologies, schools of thought, and cultural norms. At some point, civilizations, faced with a crisis that defines their time, must evolve. When that happens, these past layers don't disappear. Instead, they now serve as a new foundation for the new civilization.
We just need to go back and reread some of this stuff.
Connecting the past, present, and future together.
Instead of playing as one single civilization across every age, you'll evolve your empire into a new civilization for each new age. One that is suited to take on the historical challenges of that time.
Every age is designed to be like a historical sandbox, as a way to really immerse yourself in that time. Almost everything inside an age is exclusive to that age. That includes things like which technologies and civics you can research, what resources are available to be gained, which independent powers surround you, to even things like gameplay systems and civilizations, all unique to that age.
Having unique
What if you
civs
miss
for
out
each
on one in an
is
age,
something
then?
we're really excited about. In the past, every civ needed to be balanced across a game that spans all of history. This naturally resulted in things like late era civs being strong in the late game, but weak early on. Now, we can balance around the age itself.
Add legacies or select a
This means we can
preset.
give every civ bonuses, units, and buildings that are always relevant and powerful. Having exclusive civs per age is also great for historical immersion. Every age feels like an epic showdown of some of the great powers of that time.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play. The Antiquity Age, when agricultural societies begin to cluster into urban centers, forming the foundations of the first civilizations. The Exploration Age, when the desire for precious commodities from distant lands spurs empires to stretch across great oceans. And the Modern Age,
Where in the live
a
stream is
period
this?
of incredible technological growth and global conflict, where mankind goes from the development
Hour
of the
43.
steam engine
Okay.
to the splitting.
Because I want to go back to this.
Every age can be played on its own, or woven together into a full campaign.
Okay.
In past games, civs and leaders were always tied together and came as a package deal of agendas, abilities, units, and more. With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise history, leaders are now selected independently from civilizations. You can now mix and match unique parts of different civs and leaders, unlocking all new strategic combinations.
That's cool.
Stay
I like that.
true to Civ's spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a useful indicator will appear on the Civ selection screen.
Okay.
We're also taking the opportunity to expand who we consider to be a leader in Civilization 7. We'll continue to have traditional heads of state such as Hatshepsut, but we're also excited to have new leaders in areas such as philosophy, religion, science, and more.
Benny
Having
Franklin.
leaders stay the same across ages helps bring a sense of who you're playing against in Civilization 7. It also gives you the opportunity to keep the theme of evolution going. As your empire evolves from one age to the next, it's important that your leader
Whoa,
grows
look
as
at
well.
this.
All leaders now have attributes that can further specialize their skills. These
Build new
attributes can be
statues,
gained
rebrand
in
the
a
old
variety of
ones.
ways, from completing narrative events to rewards for researching certain technologies and civics. Overall, leaders are getting a huge upgrade. They're more powerful, more varied, and more strategically interesting than ever. We cannot wait for you to discover your new favorite leader in Civilization 7. When one age ends and you begin an age transition, it is an incredibly exciting moment. You'll select a new civilization to represent your empire in the new age. You'll choose parts of your past civ to carry forward into the new one. And the game map literally expands, filled with new independent powers to befriend, new resources to acquire, and new discoveries to be made.
During an age
like
transition, there are a few
ruins
factors
in the
that
ocean,
determine
though.
which civ you can evolve into. This includes any historical connections between your previous and future civ, your choice
That's
of
some
leader,
bad ADR.
and even certain gameplay decisions that you made in the past age. Every civ plays differently. Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting civs that have historical ties to each other. Or you might switch to civs that fit your strategic needs.
There are so many possible paths to explore, so many different choices you can make. The potential for strategy in Civilization 7 is nearly endless.
Something we hear often from players is about how when you play a game of Civ, you forget the world around you. Video games, more than any other medium,
Time tends to flow
have this
away.
ability to completely immerse you in another universe. Whether it's through art, music, cinematic moments, or language, our goal is to bring your Civ world to life.
Getting the look and feel for Civilization 7 right is critical, so it's important to make sure we are capturing that through our art style. I
Also
spent a lot of
bad
time as a
idea.
kid in
Which is
museums,
fine.
especially in the diorama sections. And being able to walk by and see these little miniatures that aren't moving, but there's a story told in them, was something that I always found intriguing. Technology changes every time we put one of these games out, and each time we put one out, we can do more. And we're at a spot in the industry now where we've just got a lot of tools and a lot of power under our belts to represent the entire world of Civilization. We're hoping that the players can look into this game, see the diametric detail on this, and tell their own stories that they've never told before. Everything is going to fit together in such a different way than it has in the past from Civilization, and I think it's going to give you a much more realistic version of the simulation that you're trying to create. We took a lot what we learned in the Civ 6 and learned from that, trying to open up some more spaces and everything. And we adjusted the tone from 6 a bit, and I think it's what our fans are looking for, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for them. It's something that nobody else is doing, and nobody but Firaxis can do.
I think players will love how combat looks. We greatly expanded the variety of units.
I mean, I like the animations, but inherently they will always get turned off.
One another. You'll see and hear the clashing of swords and steel. Units have a higher level of fidelity than ever before. Everything from the little parts and pieces and details on the armor set to the entire representation of a whole army on a battlefield. I feel like this is going to become your Civ. Like this is the one. It has the look.
Firaxis takes its representation of different cultures in Civ 7 very seriously.
Just gonna tell us into triangles.
Language is a critical
They should have just
part
been
of
circles.
civilization.
Trapezoids.
It's how people tell their story. This is important because we are trying to teach through this game, and it's important to our players. They want to see their cultures represented correctly. In many cases, some players have never seen their cultures represented anywhere else. It brings great pride and joy to be able to see themselves included in the history of the world.
Music also plays an important role in bringing out the spirit and essence of each civilization. Every Civ has its own theme.
I'm not seeing a lot of
and
anywhere
we're
on them.
excited to share that Chris Tin, who composed the Grammy
Because it all looks
Award-winning
like
theme
80R.
Baba Yetu for Civilization 4 and the main theme for Civilization 6, is returning for Civilization 7. And we cannot wait for you to hear it.
Today represents just an initial look at what's to come in Civilization 7. We have so much more to share, from gameplay deep dives to first looks at new leaders and civilizations, to what you can expect from Civ 7 post-launch.
Well, we've seen a little
Sid
bit
Meier's
of
Civilization
that
7
already.
releases on February 11th, 2025, and is available to pre-order today. Players who pre-order Civilization 7 will receive the Tecumseh and Shawnee pack. And if you haven't already, be sure to create a 2K account and sign up for our Civ newsletter to receive the latest updates. Doing so will
Napoleon.
unlock the exclusive Emperor persona for Napoleon in Civilization 7. And as a special thank you, if you
They didn't
use
talk
that
about
same
personas
2K account to play
yet.
Civ 6, you'll automatically unlock Napoleon's revolutionary persona in Civ 7.
They still haven't talked about
Check
personas
out our
are.
website at civilization.com for full details, and be sure to follow Civ for all the latest.
We hope you enjoyed this first look at Civilization 7. The entire team at Firaxis has been working very hard to make sure we deliver a game that gives you more reasons to take just one more turn.
As we welcome Civ 7 into the Civ family, I think back to the legacy of Civilization, the 30 years of development, refinement,
They didn't show 2.
iteration, exploration of the millions of players that have contributed, of the billions of hours that have been played. I'm so proud to be here for this moment, welcoming Civ 7 into the family. February 11th, 2025 isn't too far away. We're excited to be taking this journey
6 months.
with you.
A little under 6 months, actually. Alright. So they didn't talk about the one thing I was kind of hoping that they might potentially mention. Hold on. We'll wait for this. Although I think this is the trailer shown at Gamescom. Civ YouTube playing Civ 5. I feel like the hardest part about showing Civ off is that, like, you kind of need, like, the 50 minutes of, like, actual gameplay and, like, showing stuff compared to what they showed to, like, really get a good idea on what Civ is like. I feel like that's the main thing. Yeah, I think this is... it's not exactly, it's almost the trailer shown at Gamescom. No, it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is. I'm wrong. That shot I specifically remember. Same with a couple of these other shots. Early access up to 5 and more with Deluxe Edition. Well, stay civilized. So, yeah, it hasn't been a ton of new stuff. Unfortunately, they didn't go over something that's important, and that's sort of the real world aspect. So, the base edition is $7, the deluxe edition is $100, and the Founders Edition is $130. The Founders Edition contains what's in the deluxe and base, and the Founders Edition is the base game, advanced access, so you can play it 5 days early, on February 6th. The Tukemsa and Shawnee pack, which they sort of talked about at the end. And then the Crossworld of the World collection with post-launch content featuring 2 new leaders, 4 new civilizations, 4 new wonders, a special cosmetic bonus, and more. I assume that is kind of like Gods and Kings or like Brave New World. And then there's the Right to Rule collection with post-launch content featuring 4 new leaders, 4 new civilizations, 4 new wonders, a special cosmetic bonus, and more. Again, I assume that's the Brave New King and Brave New World and Gods and Kings. And then it also has what's in the Deluxe Content Pack, which is the 2 leader personas, which they didn't really talk about. They mentioned them, they didn't say what they were. 4 profile customizations, 1 alternate scout skin, and then the Founders Content Pack includes the 2 leader personas, the 4 profile customizations, 1 Fog of War tile set, 1 Founder Palace skin. Is this... Stop. So I am not getting the $130 one. You are funny, Doctor. So, Crossroads of the World, explore new possibilities of your personalized empire with post-launch add-on content, including 2 new leaders, 4 new civs, 4 new wonders, a special cosmetic bonus, and more. Full details. I assume it'll also... It'll kind of treat it like Gods and Kings or Brave New World, where it might be new. Oh my god, stop. Hold on. There you go. That'll fix it. I assume it's like those, where it's obviously the new leaders, and then probably some new mechanics and stuff. I don't know what the personas are. I know you can kind of change their personality types in the other games where you can like randomize it. That might be it. There's like different things that they might lean towards. You know, like this version might be a bit more diplomatic, or this version might be a bit more war heavy. This one might be more interested in science or something. Maybe. That's the best I can think of what the personas are without them telling us. And then here's the Deluxe Edition, which has just Crossroads, this, and then obviously early access February 6th. Actually, if you pay an extra $1, you also get 1 day earlier. So yeah. Unfortunately, I think the best way to kind of get a good idea on what Civ is that somebody just has to be physically playing it in front of you, and you just kind of learn. And you kind of see what's happening and what's going on, and you kind of learn that way. Because, like, what they showed off, I sort of got, but, like, it's kind of jumping through it. Hold on, let me see. Let me pull it back up. Praxis Games. Videos. In theory, the whole video would be up. Yeah, it is. Is it fully up? I think it's fully up. Yeah, it's fully up. Okay. Like this last section. What was that I mentioned? Like 145-ish. So that's where they talked about the sciences and stuff.
Mouths.
So yeah, this sort of seems like builders don't exist anymore. You just kind of pick somewhere here, and as long as you have the resources for it, like the money and stuff, it just auto goes. I'm not seeing the traditional build thing next to it here. And it looks like it just auto gets built. Granted, that might just be a thing for this.
Is formed, and construction begins. With more food available, our people look to make improvements.
So, expand your city, select a tile, expand your city, add a specialist. You cannot add a specialist here, you have 0 specialists here. Maximum 0 per tile. And you can sort of see its yield, 5 happiness, 5 work, and then 5 food.
to the land. An ancient
I'm just
fruit
gonna shove this on
ripe
2
for
times
cultivation is
speed.
spotted. Dates will provide more sustenance.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. So here's some of the tech, and just normal stuff it's showing. Fast forward a little bit. You can kind of see the scouts make a bit more progress. We're gonna wait a sec for the UI to go down for fucking Twitch, so we can look at the top left. You can see age progress, turn 30, 3,275 BC. It looks like, holy fuck, can this UI go away? Up here is money. You can see 2 gold per turn. This seems to, this looks like culture. This is happiness. This is embassies. If it's still the same as 6. I think the second one is how much science per turn you're making. Is like 326 is your current science amount, and then you're making 12 a turn, I guess. You can sort of see the religion. You can see, so they're bringing back the social policy thing, which replaces the culture from 5. Oh, it just went away there, motherfucker. Okay, well, fuck it. Blah, blah, blah. So here I noticed there's befriend independent, and then independent incite raid. I wonder if this is a city-state, specifically. I would like to be able to look more, but unfortunately this UI is still on the screen, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Thanks, Twitch. I wonder if it is a city-state, and it's like befriend the city-state, and then I don't know what incite raid would do. But it says target here, so you might be able to tell them to go attack somebody, maybe? Wait. I just saw it. Hold on. When you send an invite to a friend to independent power. Sounds like a city-state. That sounds like what they did in Civ 6 with city-states. So here you are talking to another person. There's open borders, improved trade relations, denounce military presence. There's treaties, endeavors, reconciliation, and then sanctions, denounce, espionage, military infiltrations. Success chance 100%, reveal chance 50%. And then I also noticed that there's these up here. I assume one of them is trading, right? Although, but this improves trade it just improves trade relation. It doesn't mean like causing trades. I wonder if one of them is like relationships or something like that. And then at the bottom here with the UI, you can see form alliance and then declare war are the 2 things. Yeah, form alliance, declare war. If action accepted, permanently increase the number of trade routes you can establish with other civilizations by 1. It can only be done once per civilization. Oh, interesting. Number of trade routes you can establish with the other civilization. So if both people are totally down for it, you could get 1 more free trade route without like needing a building or something. That's not bad. Done's really good in sort of co-op, where everyone's not like on the same team, but they're kind of working together. Ish. So here's sort of the meat of what they wanted to show off. So advanced start. Add legacies or select a preset to plan your civilization in this age. There's a custom one, which means you set it, and then I guess there's others that they might recommend for you. Here we can see gain 1 city to place, which is really good. Gain 1 town to place. We don't know about that yet. Wildcard attribute point. We don't know about that either. 3 ancient walls in all settlements. Gain an army consisting of 2 infantry units. Gain an army consisting of 2 range, and then 4 cavalry. There's another one. Gain the economic civic for free. Gain the piety civic for free. Gain 1,000 gold on standard speed. I guess that would be over the course of the whole time. That sounds fucking useless. Just play the game better. Gain 3 population in your capital. That's not terrible. Gain the cartography technology, gain machinery technology, gain the astrology. I wonder if the ages are tied to what date it is. So there's a solid chance you might miss out on some, and then you're technically capable of going back and getting them, or you could say, fuck those, I don't need those. This isn't really helpful for my build, right? Like, you know, if something's, like, pretty heavy into, like, naval fighting and you're nowhere near water, you could just say, fuck those, and then not bother with it, and then get different bonuses going into the next thing. Because in 5 and 6, you had to inevitably get everything. To some degree. I wonder if you're able to just skip some of them here because you just don't need to bother with them. And the game will totally let you. Obviously, city is one of these. I don't know what a town is, though. A town, I wonder if a town is a certain structure in a city? Or maybe a town grows into a city at one point. And and obviously it uses more resources of whatever you're allowed to do. Looks like you have 5 here. So you're able to pick up to like 5 of this thing. This icon. But then you have 0 others, so you can't pick any of the others. So I guess depending on how well you do in certain points, that kind of reminds me of the Golden Age stuff. In a way. I think that might be what they're going for with this. Oh, wait, no, he was able to pick Economic Civic. Though that might mean that it also uses up this resource. But if that's the case, if you're able to use other resources to get something, why bother having specific resources? I don't know. Okay. Here is them choosing another place. You can play as Aksum, Egypt, or Amina. I thought they were initially playing as Egypt, but I guess not. Oh, wait, no. Maybe that's picking who your leader is. Like, I still want to play as the Egyptian leader, so we'll do this. Or maybe I want to play as this leader, or I want to play as this leader now for this place. That might be it. Like, you're able to switch leaders depending on the time zone. Or, not the time zone, the era. Which era you're in. Which era zone. Time zone. Fucking idiot. I'm not going to bother reading the left, because that might change a ton. I'm going to just read the... And then it seems to confirm with you. It's like, continue. I don't see like a way back anywhere, but that might also just be for this. Let's see what leads up to that. I come to you with a proposal for a local festival. +3 per turn in cities for both leaders. Okay, so these are like seem to be equivalent to like trade agreements and stuff. +2 per turn. Ashoka World Renounces. World Renounce receives. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it renounce receives like you become renounced. +2 per turn in cities, and then reject blocked from future projections for 10 turns. Relationship worsens. I mean, it seems sort of beneficial, but I assume you're. Yeah, it looks like you're using some sort of resource underneath, maybe. If you look at where the bar is, it says 60, 0, and then 20. So your local festival influence is spent together. Oh, okay. So there's a currency now called influence. Acknowledge open diplomacy. Mages. At a certain point here, they mention technologies. I guess I should turn the audio back on for this point. Befriend independent, yeah. Yeah, I think these are city-states. Independents are city-states.
Even things like gameplay systems and civilizations, all unique to that age. Having unique civs for each age is something we're really excited about. In the past, every civ needed to be balanced across a game that spans all of history. This naturally resulted in things like
Hold on.
late era civs being strong in the late game, but weak early on. Now,
so we have this once again. I assume it's just the same screen though. Although we can see more of using this resource as opposed to the other resource. Because like here it says it costs 1 of this, but here it uses 1 of this. So I guess things aren't entirely locked. God, why would you ever want to grab that upgrade? Just play the game better. just do better. I mean, capital upgrade isn't bad. But yeah.
we can balance around the age itself.
Because yeah, you just did it again
This
right there.
means we can give
What are the bottoms at the bottom?
Things like late era civs being strong in the late game, but weak early on.
View map, autofill, confirm
Now,
legacies.
we
Okay.
can balance around the age itself. This means we can give every civ bonuses, units, and buildings that are always relevant and powerful.
I think this is
Having
a
exclusive
cool idea.
civs per age is also great for historical immersion. Every age feels like an epic showdown of some of the great powers of that time.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play. The Antiquity Age, a period of incredible tech, can be played on its own or woven together into a full campaign.
And more. With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise history, leaders
say
are now
personas.
selected independently from civilizations. You can now mix and match. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a useful indicator will appear on staying
What's the rest of
true
this
to
showing on the
Civ's
UI?
spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings,
Leader, ages,
a
civilization.
useful
confirm.
indicator
Okay.
will appear on the Civ selection screen.
We're also taking the opportunity to expand who we consider to be a leader in Civilization 7. We'll continue to have traditional heads and more.
Having leaders stay the same across ages helps bring a sense of who you're playing against in Civilization 7. It also gives you the opportunity to keep the theme of evolution going. As your empire evolves from one age to the next,
There we go. Here's some cool stuff. So leader attributes. I guess your leader can kind of get points, and then you put the points into stuff. This kind of looks like the diplomacy. No, the culture screen from 5. So you got cultural, diplomatic, economic, expansionist, militaristic, and scientific. Here in the militaristic, gain 1 free support on all your wars. I don't know what a support means. 5 combat strength against independence and city-states. So nope, they are 2 different things. There you go. Confirmation that they're 2 different things. Then what the fuck are independence? Are independence maybe, I guess, a new tier in between the 2? Maybe they're like technically part of a civilization, but they've decided to break off. Maybe. I don't know. Plus 50% influence towards levying units. So you say it's 15 production towards training military units. Ignore unrest from capturing settlements. Oh, that system's back. But that sounds really solid. That sounds like really fucking powerful. Garrison commanders reduce happiness penalties by an additional 10%. That sounds pretty useful. -1 gold maintenance for all units. Naturally useful. 1 settlement limit. Commanders gain a free level. New commanders start with a free level. Units receive +2 HP when healing. Repeatable. Oh, that's pretty good. Wait, it's repeatable, so you can keep getting this upgrade. So it can stack to be like, units receive +6 HP when healing. So an extra 6. That's pretty good.
it's important.
Expansionist points available, total points, wildcard points. I wonder if expansionist points are specific per each area, and then wildcards can be used anywhere. But here in expansionist, probably where I'll end up going down. 1 food per age on warehouse buildings, 10% growth rate in cities, 25% production towards training settlers, 25% of food is refunded when a city grows by adding a specialist. Gain +1 population in towns. New towns start with an additional population. So I think towns grow into cities. I think that's how it works now. 50% food and happiness towards maintaining specialists, or +30% if you have 3 or fewer. +50% yields in towns with a specialization, or +30% in distant lands. Distant lands. I assume there's like a tile. Once you reach this tile amount, it turns into like a distant land, maybe, for your civilization. +1 specialist limit in all cities, -1 settlement limit. That sounds like a trade-off, but then you could just get this one for the 1 settlement limit anyway, so it kind of negates that. Okay.
That your leader grows as well. All leaders now have attributes that can further specialize their skills.
Creative limits. Egyptian culture flourishes, yet some say the best works of art and architecture in the past. As a priest presents a proposal for a series of new statues, A counselor whispers that time and money could be saved by claiming older statues as your own. Fuck. Well, this makes me think of Crusader Kings. I'm trying to think of, like, Crusader Kings or, like, I forget what the other fucking game. Where like, your people will come to you, and there's a couple different decisions you can make. But this seems to be how you get these points that get spent... Fuck. Where is it? Play.
Helps bring a sense of who you're playing important.
So yeah, I saw culturable, and then I saw something else there than this. Oh, this is a different one entirely. So I think this is how you get the points for those. Roman citizens gather in high spirits to celebrate the festival of Fors Fortuna. Wine flows liberally, and revelers drape themselves in flowered garlands. One rowdy group declares that these are the celebrations expected of an empire ruled by its people. A nearby senator retorts that Rome is guided by the Senate, and a little more gratitude should be in order. So you can either get a cultural one, many voices are better than few, or a more militaristic one, where the Senate knows the people best. And then wildcard, I think, lets you use for anyone. And here we go. So here's our tree. It looks like things will lead into each other. Mastery. This doesn't lead into anything, so I guess you could just ignore it, potentially. Or, you could get the base one, and then if Mastery has more upgrades, you could probably use things to... Hold on, let me move my camera real quick. It's out of the way. Because that's... Yeah, I wonder if you can get the base one, and then you could do Mastery, where it gives more rewards. So, like, certain ones you'd want to, like, hard press into Mastery, and then others you just want to get the regular of. That sounds right, by what I'm looking at, maybe. Until we literally get our hands on it and fucking, I don't know. Just speaking out of my ass.
Overall, leaders are getting a huge favorite leader in Civilization. This is an incredibly exciting moment. Game map.
During an year, and even certain only selecting civs that have history.
So, requires 3 horse resources. Leader-based, unlock if available. Unlocked by Civ Choice Egypt. So, okay. If you're like, if you know the requirements ahead of time, or I assume there's a way to see what the requirements are while in game or choosing Civ earlier, you can go, okay, well, I need to try and go towards this, so that way I can get this. Of course, the RNG of the map could just fuck you over, but...
Historical ties to each other.
That seems to be what they're going.
Ring.
And I think that's it for gameplay, because now it's
of how combat
unit art and everything.
Look, the critical part
Benny Franklin.
Civilization. Be their pride.
Civilization. Main
locations.
5 civilizations in Civ 7.
So here they
mention
mentioned Persona for the first time.
Latest updates. Doing so will unlock the exclusive Emperor persona for Napoleon.
So again, I think personas are different personalities. If you give like him the Emperor persona, he might be more interested in ruling militaristically. What is the other one?
And as a special thank you, if you use that same 2K account to play Civ 6, you'll automatically unlock Napoleon's revolutionary persona.
So revolutionary might be more science-based. He might be more interested in science. And then the other one might be more interested in military dominance. I'm thinking that's it. Because typically civs would go one specific way they'd like, and then you could randomize their personalities. So they might have like another personality, like Songhai might get like Babylon's personality, something like that, where they're a bit more science-based. That sounds like that's what it is here. I assume you can either set the civs or you can just randomize. I'd personally just randomize because I think it's more fun. Even with like 5, I just randomize personalities because I think it's more fun. That sounds what the personas are doing, but it gives them more of a chance that like this civ could be any kind of thing, as opposed to just, oh, this civ now plays like this other civ. That's what it sounds like to me.
Persona in Civ 7. Check out our website at civilization.com for full details, and be sure to follow.
Oh. Civilization.com. Because that's about all we're gonna get from them, I think. Anything special here? Twitch gameplay showcase. Civ 7. Pre-order for those. 2K account for those. And then pre-order for the special editions. Drop $130. Alright, well, that seems to be about all they're sort of willing to show now. Civ 7 personas. Just seeing if there's a new... Personas are variations of existing. There's new appearances, abilities, and agendas. Yeah. Okay, so it's copied from 6. Oh, there you go. So yeah, that I think is gonna be that for Civ. Inevitably, I think the best way to show off a game like Civ is somebody just needs to fucking play it. You just have to give this into people's hands and then kind of be like, hey, this is what's happening with this. I've noticed this with this. And that's the best way of showing this type of game off. Yeah. Just sort of see what an actual match is like, because then you get a better feel for what the game is like, as opposed to the little cinematics that they'll show you. But cool. That's Civ 7 until for whenever they show more gameplay.